I'm Koichi Narasaki from Sompo Holdings, the Japanese insurance conglomerate. I'm a chief digital officer. I run digital.
How big is the company and what does it do? What are the product lines?
So it's an insurance conglomerate. So we have a domestic and overseas P&C insurance, life insurance, and we have a nursing care or elderly care service provider business as well.
How many people work there and how big is the company in sales?
So roughly 80,000 headcounts, and revenue is $36 billion.
So if you're a chief digital officer, you need to innovate a huge company like that. There is a different kind of mindset needed. Where do you come from and how did you have the guts to basically innovate a company like that?
So my previous lives, I was running 5 startups, mostly in Silicon Valley for 16 years, until 3 years ago. So I just joined Sompo as a chief digital officer 3 years ago, and I have a big ego of changing the world for better, which is perfectly aligned with Sompo's corporate mission to make the world a better place.
And who basically asked you to come to the company and what was your mandate? What were you asked to do?
That's my boss, the CEO, Kengo Sakurada, CEO of Sompo Holdings or Sompo Group. And my mission is very simple: digital transformation for all through Sompo.
That is a very simple mission, but it's very complicated to do it in a big company. So when you entered in the company, what did you do to start accelerating that innovation?
Yes, because of my startup background, I have started open innovation with a lot of startups. Mostly Silicon Valley, some Tokyo, Japanese, and Tel Aviv, like Israel. And I have a startup 3 labs, Tokyo, Silicon Valley, and Tel Aviv, where we are scouting a lot of technologies and various technologies, various solutions, best practices, and again, open innovation partnerships.
And how do you get, you have these startups, but you also need enthusiasm inside Sompo. So how did you get the people inside Sompo enthusiastic about this process?
I made everybody enthusiastic about this open innovation, and they are actually working very closely with all the startups that we have partnered with, and they are changing themselves very rapidly.
How did you do that? How did you get people enthusiastic about your about this innovation process?
It's a cultural transformation, and it's not that easy. It's easy said than done, but we're actually making them exposed and also co-working, co-creating with the startups. We move them to San Francisco, Silicon Valley, and Tel Aviv. And also we are actually seconding them into some of the startups.
How many companies have you been involved in? How many startup companies have you now interacted with, and what is the success rate into moving them into the processes of the company?
So probably talking of the number, maybe north of 1,500 or even more. And how many success cases? Probably 35, 40 that I can count. Very successful.
Give me 2 examples of nice, interesting, commercially successful innovations.
Okay. One example is Trove, the Silicon Valley company, TROV. They are basically on-demand insurance technology, insurtech provider. We are strategically partnered with them. We are the investors. I sit on the board, and we are changing the mobility in terms of mobility insurance for much better than whatever is available in the marketplace.
Did you also have a fund available to invest in those kind of companies? How many companies have you invested in?
Actually, the number is not publicly known, but we have probably more than 24 companies we have invested. and partnered.
And your team, how many people are in your team, and how many people have you touched inside the big company?
120 people directly reporting to me, and by the way, 24 of them are engineers. They code Python and C++ and whatnot, and some CX designers.
What is the mentality of innovation in a Japanese company? Americans they want to have it quick. What is the mentality of innovation inside a large Japanese company? Do they have staying power? Are they more persistent? Do they want a slower, more reliable process? Describe the difference between the American way and the Japanese innovation way.
So I would say Kaizen, which is an incremental a update or upgrade of your processes. Japanese are very good at that. So not like a rapid growth, but it's a steady and sustainable growth and betterment.
They have much more patience for the long term.
That is right, because Japanese have lived a long lives for that.
You show us all the way the first time. What do you think of DIA? What you've seen here? What do you think of the Digital Insurance Agenda event here in Amsterdam?
Actually, this is amazing. This is my first time to come visit here, but I'll definitely make it a rule to come back every year. And I just hear that DIA is now coming to Hong Kong, Asia, our vicinity, our neighborhood. So we'd like to be very heavily, proactively involved in these activities ourselves.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.